I present to you my top 10 architectural visualization studios in Portugal. Let's jump right in. Number 10. FVB. If you're into architectural visuals that feel like real editorial photography, FVB is one of those studios you'll love. Their visual language is calm, precise, confident, super clean compositions, lots of breathing room, strong horizontals, framing that makes architecture feel effortless. They love soft daylight, gentle shadows, surfaces you can almost feel, concrete, stone, textiles, warm wood, all treated with tasteful restraint. What stands out most? Photorealistic lighting and that unmistakable Mediterranean vibe. The light feels sun-driven and natural, soft but crisp, believable bounce, gentle roll-offs, shadows that sit exactly where you expect them. It's the atmosphere you associate with coastal architecture. Warm air, bright skies, pale stone, sun-washed surfaces that relax slow living mood. Everything feels sun-kissed without becoming cliché, more like quiet summer realism than a stylized postcard. FVB's work has that quiet luxury vibe, minimal but never empty, detailed but never busy, the kind of imagery that doesn't shout for attention. It just looks expensive. Number 9. RENDERGRAM. If you like calm, high-end architectural visuals, RENDERGRAM is the right choice. Their visual language is all about restraint. Clean framing, lots of breathing room, compositions that feel almost editorial, like a quiet designer magazine spread. They don't impress with chaos, they impress with control. What really stands out? How they treat light and material as the main characters. Soft daylight that wraps around plaster and stone, gentle shadow roll-off, that very specific real-world softness you see in good photography. Even when the architecture is minimal, the images never feel empty, because the atmosphere is doing so much work. And the color grading, seriously strong, muted skies, warm neutrals, natural greens, consistent tone that ties the whole portfolio together. Nothing screams CG. It feels curated, balanced, tastefully understated. RENDERGRAM's work is a masterclass in subtlety, quiet, tactile, confident. If your project needs elegance instead of spectacle, this is exactly the kind of studio you want on your shortlist. Number 8. ImagineWeCreate. ImagineWeCreate. First impression, calm, intelligent, quietly premium. Their visual language is very architectural. Clear perspective choices, clean geometry. Compositions that feel designed, not decorated. Lots of breathing room, simple framing. Your eye reads the project instantly, even when the scene has people, trees, city context. What really sells it? The light. Photorealistic daylight that feels like Southern Europe, bright but soft, warm but not yellow, gentle shadows and a slightly hazy atmosphere that makes everything feel natural. Skies stay airy, facades stay readable, materials never look over-processed, and they're great at building believable everyday life into the image. Kids playing, cyclists passing by, courtyards that feel used, landscaping that sits naturally around the architecture, always supportive, never distracting. If you like restrained realism, competition-level clarity, and that relaxed Mediterranean mood, ImagineWeCreate is a really strong reference. Number 7. Uto. If you like architectural visualization that feels more like cinema than marketing, you need to see Uto. Their visual language is bold, minimal, extremely controlled. They don't impress you with more stuff. They impress you with choices. What to show, what to hide, how long to let a frame breathe. Composition-wise, structure and tension, strong geometry, clean lines, framing that feels intentional, almost like a film still, aggressive, negative space that makes the architecture feel more powerful, not emptier, but the real signature, the lighting, photorealistic yet stylized, deep shadows, soft fall-off, highlights that land exactly where they need to. Nothing overexposed, nothing artificial, that rare balance where you believe the light, but you also feel the mood. Material work is super tactile, concrete, timber, stone, glass, even fabric. Everything has weight, texture, subtle imperfection. They create intimacy with small, quiet details, without turning it into decoration. What I admire most, Uto has range, but it still feels coherent, warm and calm, dark and atmospheric, even dramatic. And it still looks like Uto every time. If you're into cinematic realism, restrained storytelling, and visuals that feel like photography with a pulse, Uto is top tier. Number 6. Fusao. Fusao feels less like a render studio portfolio and more like an architectural magazine that happens to include CG. What hits you first? The range. Clean, high-end CGI interiors with skylights and polished concrete. Crisp exterior hero shots, but also real-world imagery. Aerial landscapes, coastal city views, stadium night shots, tactile close-ups. They tell the story of a project with whatever medium fits best, not forcing everything into pure visualization. Their visual language is photography-driven. Strong geometry, straight horizons, confident perspectives, simple compositions that are never boring, lots of big sky, lots of breathing room, clear hierarchy in every frame. Lighting is mostly bright and honest. That clear Mediterranean daylight vibe, controlled contrast, clean whites. When they go dramatic, like night scenes or interiors, it stays readable and polished. Nothing muddy, nothing overly cinematic. And the presentation itself, bold yellow graphic blocks with architect names. The whole page feels editorial, like you're browsing a curated selection, not a random dump of projects. Fusao is your reference for disciplined modern imagery, a studio identity that blends visualization, photography, and architectural storytelling into one consistent look. Number 5. Fortes.Vision. Fortes.Vision has this high-end hospitality and luxury real estate look that's instantly recognizable. Their portfolio? Less CG, more carefully art-directed photography. What hits first? Cinematic lighting. They use sunlight as a design tool, warm late afternoon beams, long shadows, soft sky fill, clean specular highlights on glass and stone that make everything feel expensive. When they go darker, they don't just turn down exposure, they build mood properly. Night shots keep shadow detail, with practical lighting that feels believable and intentional. Composition-wise, strong, readable hero frames, clean horizontals, solid symmetry when it fits, wide shots with breathing room in the sky. Even when the architecture is bold, the image stays calm. Clear hierarchy, you see the building first, then the landscape, then the lifestyle cues. Fortes.Vision is your reference for photorealistic, cinematic marketing imagery with strong atmosphere and a luxury finish, without the typical over-stylized CGI look. Number 4. nu.ma. nu.ma makes visuals that feel more like photography than CG. Their portfolio sits right on the line between architecture and visualization. Calm, minimal, design-driven, clean compositions, strong framing, clear focus on materials, close-ups of facades, timber and concrete junctions, soft shadows on plaster, the details architects actually care about. And the atmosphere, that's where they shine. nu.ma uses weather and nature as storytelling tools. Overcast skies, moody clouds, reflections in water, wide landscapes with breathing room. Even when the scene is dramatic, it's never overcooked. It stays quiet, believable. They mix typologies beautifully. Serene houses in nature, clean modern villas, urban scenes, interior moments that feel lived in without looking staged. My take? nu.ma is perfect for clients who want credibility over gloss. If your audience is architecture first, these visuals hit exactly the right tone. Number 3. Okdraw. Okdraw's visual language is super restrained, and that's exactly why it works. Cinematic, editorial, soft contrast, calm tones and compositions with air in them. Nothing overpushed, nothing hyper-sharp. This is photography, not typical CG. Analog attitude, subtle haze, gentle grain, lighting that feels natural instead of perfect. But here's what really stands out: their material sensitivity. They treat surfaces like a mood tool, not a texture checklist. The palette stays warm and quiet. Light does the heavy lifting. The result? Architectural storytelling without trying too hard. Confident, minimal, controlled. If you like ArchViz that feels mature, atmospheric, and design-led, Okdraw is a strong reference. Number 2. Mino. Mino isn't just a render studio. They're a full visual launch partner. Brand identity, film, immersive experiences, website design, marketing strategy. They build entire worlds around projects, not just pretty pictures. Their visual language? Quiet, editorial, controlled. Think modernist restraint, breathing room, confident framing, a palette that stays calm and premium. They lean into material honesty and atmosphere without the Instagram drama. Even when things get cinematic, it's polished and grown up. Never flashy. What sets them apart? Art direction discipline. Everything looks like it belongs to the same story, whether it's architecture, graphics, or campaign assets. And they work globally. International positioning, branding first. If you want ArchViz that feels like design culture, not just visualization, Mino is one of the best in Portugal. Number 1. NRML. NRML, a 3D visualization studio in Lisbon, founded in 2020 by Richard John Seymour, photographer and filmmaker turned visual artist. What defines them? Restraint, calm, editorial, intentional, soft contrast, disciplined compositions, and a natural light sensibility that reads more like a film still than a CG showcase. Even when the architecture is bold, the images don't shout. They hold atmosphere without gimmicks, subtle weather, believable haze, tones that stay mature and grounded, materials that feel clean and tactile, and consistent grading that makes their work feel like a coherent body, not a random collection of styles. If you like architectural imagery that's contemporary, cultured, and quietly confident, NRML belongs in your top 10. Those were my top 10 ArchViz studios in Portugal. If you want to discover more great studios around the world, follow the channel and check out ARCHVIZBASE.com, my curated database of more than 1,000 hand-picked ArchViz studios worldwide.